celebration? It's my birthday all year.
What's up, you damn plebeians? I'm Neil with the Balding Plebs, and I'm joined here tonight by the Immortal One for his week-long birthday celebration.
Mr. fucking YouTube, baby.
Mr. YouTube, we're on the cusp of the release of Ghost of Tsushima. We were just talking. You have it bought, downloaded, and ready for a live stream at
11 p.m. Central Time this evening. The birthday celebration is kicking off. I am going to be young, beautiful, 35 years old, Mr. fucking YouTube, kicking ass and taking names. And we're starting it off with Ghost of Tsushima.
Now, we got Ghost of Tsushima coming up here, Mr. YouTube. Give me your thoughts. We're going to give our final thoughts going into the game's launch. I'm just going to say, after some of the open world style I've seen for this game, I am more excited for this game now than I was 6 months ago.
I have liked what we've seen so far from what they've showed off. And, you know, I've looked at a few of the reviews that have been coming out, and the game seems to be scoring pretty strong on an overall level.
Okay.
And, you know, one of the things they mentioned, whenever I read reviews, right, I always want to make sure the game scores on an aggregate pretty good if I'm looking to buy a game. And then I always like to read some of the detractors.
Got it.
You know, just to see what their deal is, you know, and see, okay, these guys gave this game a lower grade, and I wonder why, right?
Sure.
Than kind of what the average was. And, you know, some of them said that the open world stuff was kind of basic.
Okay.
Right? And so my thought is, does this hold my attention, and do I feel interested enough to do everything in it? Is it contained? Is it beatable? Is it doable? Right? And those are things I look at. Or is this a 200-hour thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I think what we've seen environmentally and from an explorative standpoint looks amazing.
I agree.
But will it hold my attention all the way through?
That's true.
That's kind of the thing that I think is my number one on this game. Because when we looked at the gameplay, right, I don't think there was anything that we saw there that looked poor.
Yeah, how
right?
about how about the combat? Visceral, violent, you know, intense.
You know, whether it's stealth or, you know, the samurai showdown type stuff, and you know, the different, like I said, environmentally with like the way the wind interacts and the animals and all this different stuff just look awesome.
Yeah.
So that stuff to me is great, and obviously I hope the combat feels good too. You know, we haven't got our hands on it just yet, but obviously we want the combat, the moment to moment combat, to be excellent and to be interesting, and those samurai fights to have those big fight feels to them.
Absolutely.
Maybe something along the lines of Sekiro from a combat standpoint, or at least when we get those big fight combats, you know, we want to have something where when you defeat the guy, you're like, damn, that was a fight.
Yeah, you do want to have like a rewarding feeling when you finish a big showdown, and I think that's important for that. Again, we talk about all the time, player feedback loop.
Very important. And again, does this hold me, right? The thought here, or what I've heard, is just a little bit longer title,
okay,
and the world is a little bit bigger. So does it get me to all those points? And are the discoveries we make, are they interesting enough for me to say, ooh, that was a neat experience, I want to find the next one now?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the stuff that...
You're so popular.
God, Mr. YouTube's popular. Whoa.
Stuff being us. Let me just straighten that out for you. It's hard to be us.
I did go with the standard edition for this game. I did buy it digitally.
Yep.
You know, I've said this in other videos. I do prefer to buy my AAA games on disc. But, you know, obviously 2020 has been a little different animal, so we're having to do what we have to do during this time. So I do have a digital. I did go with the $59 edition. I don't remember if we said the digital deluxe edition was worth it or not. I did look at it. I think it would be an okay value, but I just felt like some of the extra stuff they gave in it, like a technique point and a charm and some different things, and then the armor sets and stuff, you can get, I feel like you're going to get that stuff in the game.
Yeah.
So there's not really a point to pay an extra $10 for it. By pre-ordering the game, you do get a cool dynamic theme that I have on my PS4 right now, which is really neat. So if you are going day one on this, you may as well pre-order it and get the theme. It's really neat. It's actually this picture right here, and it kind of zooms in and out as you move on your PlayStation home screen. So it's kind of cool.
Cool, dude.
And it's got the leaves blowing and the golden sun. That's nice. I think that stuff, when you look at those vistas and those landscapes and the way they've got that set up, this could make for some really epic, like we talked about, big fight samurai feels.
Well, not just that, but they do also have, didn't they say they also had the photo mode?
They have the photo mode, yep. So
but you can like change the direction of the wind. You can do all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, get some like cherry blossoms and
leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I do like that.
So,
we don't have to belabor it. We don't have to keep going on and on and on. But I want to get.
I mean, what do you think? What are you looking for in this?
Honestly, I'm looking for a great.
Okay, so we got Sekiro last year. And we loved that, right?
Yep.
We loved that feel. We loved that combo. It was a different type of game.
It was, and that's why I understand the comparisons, but at the same time, I do think you're going to have or should have two totally different games because I don't believe that Ghost of Tsushima is going to be a Souls-like in any way, shape, or form.
No, and I don't either. And I'm also thinking, I thought Sekiro did a nice job carving out kind of like its own identity.
Absolutely.
Right? Kind of iterating on the Souls-like formula, but still keeping something new, some new things, and the combat in it really had that epic 1v1 sort of intensity to it, especially in the bigger moments.
Absolutely.
And mixed in with the stealth as well, which worked pretty well.
Yeah, and you could definitely win some of them bigger fights, some of them one-on-one fights. Sure, you always have a moment where you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, but most of those big fights, you felt like when you won because you did everything right.
Exactly. And when you lost, it's because you didn't.
Remember when you were fighting the guy, I think it's in the Jdog or Rage compilation. Remember when you were fighting the guy in the heavy armor on the bridge?
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Lo and behold, you're supposed to kick the guy off the bridge.
Yep.
So, it
had those moments in it.
It did.
And again,
it really did.
Now, we want Ghost of Tsushima to have... I want that same feel in some of those big combat moments.
Yes.
But I also want it to have its own identity.
Absolutely. I don't want it to be a Souls-like.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy another Sekiro game right now. I want it to be...
We're hoping that the open world concept in it is also interesting enough to drive the game.
Yes.
Through the entire storyline. And then when we finish, if the storyline can be finished, and then you can roam around the world and pick up all the pieces... you hope that's interesting enough that you're going to want to do it.
Absolutely.
That's probably my biggest thing with this game.
I think for me, the most important thing is that the exploration doesn't feel like a waste of your time.
Exactly.
I want to feel like I just spent 10 minutes going from here to there. I'm looking at this thing at the distance. What's the point? What do I get? A skill point, a charm, weapon upgrade? Great. I want to feel like what I'm doing matters. We talk about that all the time, especially in those bigger games. You want to feel like what you do makes a difference in your game at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's, you certainly look at it, you've got this incredible looking game, and you want it to be fun to spend time in the world.
Absolutely.
So important.
Especially in a big game like this.
You got the $60 investment. You've got a great release for this game as far as time frame of the year. You don't have a lot else in the way right now. I don't think August has anything really significant that I can think of.
No.
And I don't think maybe even early September might not. So you have a lot of time to sink into this and to really focus on it. And you hope that it keeps your attention for that time too, especially if you're committing that $60. We talk about that all the time.
Absolutely. Mr. YouTube, let's bring it home. Number one thing you're currently looking forward to in Ghost of Tsushima?
Number one is getting my hands on it at 11 p.m. tomorrow. I can't wait to play this thing.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Will it keep my attention?
I hope it does. I really hope it does.
So do I.
Mr. YouTube, I'll be interested to see what the plebs think about Ghost of Tsushima coming up here down in the comments. Like the video if you guys enjoyed our final thoughts, and we'll see you right here at 11 p.m. Central for the first Ghost of Tsushima live stream.
See you there. You're welcome.
GG, you plebs.